I just remember they came with this truck full of stuff and just moved it up into my apartment on the third floor. And I was like, oh my God. Oh, like sometimes you don't know that God will make a way unless you need a way. Hey, Faith Walkers, how are you doing? How are you doing? I'm doing amazing. And happy Friday to you, and welcome to Detox Fridays. As you all know by now, I am doing a testimony series, and I thought of another testimony of something that God has done for me over the years. I have been living in Texas for a while. When I first moved here, for about my first 4 months, I actually was living with other people. And so I finally get my apartment. I don't have anything except like I think a set of drawers that I bought. They were drawers, but they were like cloth drawers, like a cloth drawer set, probably 5 drawers that I put together. They probably were from Walmart. I had that drawer set, and then I also had my suitcases, and I had an air mattress. Those are things that I had bought while I had been working those few months. But it was time for me to move, and I moved out into my own apartment. I would just come home. I had bought a really big book, really big. It was probably like, well, for some people that it might not be big, but 300 to 500 pages of a novel. And every night when I would get home from work, I was living by myself, and I would just sit up and read this novel. I would just read and read and read until I went to sleep. And then I would get up and go to work and do it again. And I was talking to one of my coworkers, and I was like, I just go home at night and I just read my book. And I told her I didn't have any furniture. I was just talking to her about my situation. She said she felt bad for me. And so she went and told her husband about me. And mind you, I did not know this lady of course, I'm in Texas. I did not know her from Adam. And she went home and told her husband, and her husband discussed it, and they had a whole bunch of furniture and stuff that they weren't using, and it was just sitting out in their garage. And so when she came to work the next day, she was like, my husband he got really excited, and he is going to pack up our truck, and we are going to go with you to your apartment and put some furniture in there. Y'all, they just gathered everything that they could that was just sitting in their garage. I believe I had a computer. It was an older computer. It was a TV. Um, I think they gave me some dishes. And then I had like a day bed. A day bed, it's kind of like has a trundle up under it. I had a day bed. I cannot even remember what all they gave me, but it was whatever they had. I had mattresses, a day bed, all of that. And so I could move my stuff into the room, right? So I'm paying for my apartment, but I just have, like I said, an air mattress. My air mattress, I didn't even put it in the bedroom. I just put it out in the living room. I just remember they came with this truck full of stuff and just moved it up into my apartment on the third floor. And I was like, oh my God. Oh, like sometimes you don't know that God will make a way unless you need a way. And I wasn't even complaining. I was content because I was sitting up in my own place. I'm like, I will get the furniture later. I will get everything later. It'll come later. So I stayed in that apartment for about a year. I stayed in that apartment for about a year. And I think tax season came up. Tax season came up, and I had all these taxes because in Washington, I had bought a house or like a condo. I had bought property. I had bought a house. I had a business, and I had gotten all of my taxes done there. But for some reason, the tax person that I went to didn't give me any tax breaks. So I ended up owing the IRS more money than I should have. Anyway, I get my taxes done, and the man says, because I have like this whole little thing with all my receipts and stuff from my business that I had in Washington. And so I had my receipts, I had everything. And he was like, well, did you have anything else? Did you have? I said, well, I actually owe the IRS. I owe the IRS because I got my taxes done. I told him my situation. He was like, let me take a look at it. He said, oh, you're just in time to redo these taxes. Had you waited another year, you wouldn't be able to redo these taxes. But you are within the statute of limitations where I can actually redo your taxes. He took a look at my taxes. He took a look at the taxes that I was filing for that year and the ones before, previous years. This man got me back probably about $3,000. With this $3,000, I was able to move it to, because I was moving, I moved it to my other apartment and I was able to furnish it. I was able to get all brand new furniture. I went and started picking out my furniture. I got a bedroom suite and couch and all of the things. And I was able to get everything that I needed. It was all provided for. It was like the Lord saved that for when I moved. Because I know that when I was doing those taxes and I owed the IRS like $1,200 or something like that, I didn't know that I was moving. At that time, I didn't know I was moving, but I went and got them redone right here in Texas, and God worked a miracle for me. That is how I furnished. That's how my second apartment got completely furnished, was because God worked a miracle. If that man wouldn't have asked me about some back taxes and all of that, it wouldn't have even happened. It would have never happened. And so I even thank the Lord for that. That's my testimony. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, share, and subscribe, and be on the lookout for more videos. Have an awesome day.